Well, thank you so much for watching the website review of startupcamp.com. Just a few things as we get started. First thing is we believe the homepage is your sales letter. It's the thing that should get potential customers to know who you are, to know what you do, and to take action. That's the goal. There should be a controlling idea from the very top of your website all the way down to the bottom. There should be one end result that you want from website visitors when they come to the homepage. Now, every subsequent page can be different types of content specifically to different types of people that you can point them to if they come to the website. You know, part of your website is legitimacy, not just the sales generation. So we do want to make sure we have other content for those who are already in business with you. They're already signed up to work with you. We want to have content for that, but not on the homepage. The homepage is for those you want to sign up. That's what you want. You want the homepage to be for them, one controlling idea. So we're going to go through and we're going to look at a few different things on your website, more from a content standpoint, where it's placed, and is it clear enough? So the first thing we're going to look at is the header. Now the header is everything you see on the screen. It's the logo, the navigation on the top, the center area, and that yellow button on the bottom with the image in the back. That's the header. So the first thing I want to look at is, are you communicating what you offer? So when I look at your website, first place I might look is your logo, right? Startup Camp. It does not communicate what you offer. That's fine. You know, what I mean by that is you might see some other companies that are, financial services. So it might be, the Angel Financial Services, right? Well, it's a financial services company. Startup Camp does not explain that, but that's totally fine. It does not have to. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the right. I'm going to start looking at your navigation. I'm going to start trying to piece together what you do based off of that. And the reason why I'm moving to the right is if you think about how people naturally read left to right, top to bottom. So I'm going to look at the navigation. Now, at first glance, it's simple from a design perspective, so that's great. There's not a lot. There are no drop downs. If I hover over that, I'm not going to see any drop downs, which is really, really good. However, I will tell you that there's not much that tells me what you do based off of reading these here. That's okay. That's totally fine. So I'm going to move on to the next thing, which is this free training button. The reason why I say that is because it's like an obvious button here. It's designed to get my attention. So I'm going to look at that and I'm going to go, okay, they offer free training. Startup Camp offers free training. That's the first thing I'm going to see that you offer, that you provide. Great. So we're getting a little closer. Not quite there. What are you going to train me about? So then I'm going to read the section below it, which is right here. Now you notice one thing I did not do. I did not click that play button. That's not what people are going to do right here. They're scanning very quickly. So we're taking minutes to explain this, but it's within seconds that they're doing what I'm explaining. So we want to grab their attention fast. We've got to do it very, very quickly. So now I look at those words and I see the first complete platform for new angel investors. If I found you because I'm looking for alternative ways to invest, I understand investors. But angel, I'm not sure what that might mean. I might have an idea, but it's still kind of vague. Platform, though, the word platform says it's like a software that I get to log into for me as an angel investor, but it doesn't help me become an angel investor. It's the tool that I would use to invest, but it doesn't help me become that. So there needs to be some content, some verbiage above it in that same font, in that same style, like really big and bold, right above it, that says the thing that will help me. So what is my problem that is being solved, right? So the best alternative way to invest, something like that. And use your brand script, because your brand script has philosophical statements. It has what does life look like after they become an investor. You could that statement is really about me, not about your platform, not about what you do, but about what is solving my problem about investing, right? And then you can have the first complete platform for new angel investors as subtext below it. So the first part says, the big bold statement says, what is going to happen for me? And then the subtitle is going to say how it's done by the platform you guys provide. Okay. So that right there is kind of that the header piece. You know, how clear do I understand your product or service? Do I know how to do it? So right now, the calls to action that you have available are free training and download your free guide. So this free training, download your free guide. So is that the platform? Am I going to be trained on how to get the platform or how to become an angel investor? What is the guide? Now, as we scroll down, I'm sure there's more information, but remember, people are moving quickly. And for those who are looking for new ways to invest, you want to get them to that information faster. What you're doing is you're opening up a story loop and you're getting them to lean in and want to learn more, right? So give them everything right up front on this area here, the header area. And remember, people don't read websites, they scan them. So you guys did a great job from a design perspective, knowing that there's big, bold statements, there's big buttons, there's, obvious calls to action. So from a design perspective, you did a good job in understanding that people will scan this. And most likely, they're looking at your website from a mobile device, all right? Now, wanted to chat about the photo that's in the background. The photo that's in the background is great. But I would like for you guys to look at, is it speaking to our target audience, to our avatar? So if you're speaking to a mid-40s married with children, teenage children, who's looking to up his retirement game because he's got nothing available, and every time he tries to do something, it fails, it may not look like two businessmen in a beautiful office. It might look more like I'm sitting down talking to one of those guys in a coffee shop, or I'm looking at a computer together, but I'm excited, smiles or excitement. This is very business and very executive feeling right at the very top. And that will speak to some, but not to most. And if we're looking at volume, we want to make sure that that imagery communicates to the person who's going to be taking action. So however that looks like, and we can help you with that as well when it comes to websites, looking at that imagery, making sure you have the right imagery there. Okay, so that's it so far for the header. Let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Now what we're looking at here is more of a, I see what you're doing here. You have, our mission is to equip you to create life-changing wealth. What you probably should do is speak to the person you're wanting to sign up, right? So the statement might be more create life-changing wealth, like where we remove the mission and equip you to, where the statement is just create life-changing wealth, or create generational wealth, or invest with confidence, or something like that. So you want to kind of add some value propositions below that. What is it that your customer will get out of engaging with you? What are they going to get? Well, they're going to get an easy to use platform. They're going to get deals handed to them. I think I've seen this on your site already. Deals, vetted and ready for you to invest into. So you will have to kind of provide, what are those things that I'm going to get, and have 3 to 4 things on here with icons. So from a design perspective, nailed it. This is fantastic. Bold statements at the top, icons, not a lot of content, easy on the eyes. So from a design perspective, this is great. The content needs to be speaking more to me, not about your mission. And those 3 things need to really speak to the value that I am getting by becoming an investor through Startup Camp. All right. So the call to action here also, now we're kind of saying different things. Claim our free investing guide. Up earlier was the guide, download the guide, and then the free training. Remember that? So Your calls to action are kind of everywhere. It needs to be one controlling call to action. What is a controlling call to action for you? That is, become an investor, right? Now, the transitional call to action, that's the download the PDF, that's the claim our investing guide. But it's not as obvious. So we want to make sure that the obvious call to action, which are these yellow buttons, are become an investor today or something like that, right? So here, though, you can use that yellow button. You can say become an investor, but then you can also add another button next to it, and that's the transitional call to action. And think of it more as an outlined button, not a filled button like this, where it's that yellow, but it's just outlined, so it's less obvious. And they can click that, give them your email, and download that guide, right? So great from a design perspective, but let's speak more to the person who you want to sign up and then give some value props here. Scrolling down a little bit further, meet the boardroom members. This is great. This will speak to the legitimacy and the experience you have. I would look at what it is that you are saying from a content perspective. So meet the boardroom members may be something like our experience given to you, right? We'll give you our experience, like say those words, okay? Because it's really not about meeting you. It's about, I mean, honestly, it's about me going, how can I tap into this wisdom and be able to get what I want? So meet the boardroom members may not speak to something, but if you say, decades of wisdom for you, that's going to speak to me a little bit more. And then your verbiage below, your expert guides are not only seasoned angel investors, they are also founders of Raging Bull. I may not know what Raging Bull is or XPO Logistics. I might, never know. But what you say next to it is these angels will share their step-by-step strategies and private networks so you can experience 1,000% returns and more. So I would put on there, something that's more about why I am going to trust you, less about what you're founders of. You can add that maybe after you tell me about that, they give me all the step-by-step strategies. So, and this is a lot of real estate you're using for the boardroom members. And then you're giving me another call to action that's different. Check out the boardroom. So far, I have not even figured out how to start with you. All I know is I can download a guide, that I get free trading, and that there's a boardroom. And I don't even know what that means. So all of the main call to action, the obvious calls to action, the ones that are yellow like that, we want to make sure those are become an investor. Become an investor. The boardroom members, the guys with the excellence, they want your website visitors to become an investor. The content here about giving them strategies in a private network so they can experience 1,000% returns is so they can become an investor, right? So let's give them that option and give them that opportunity to do so right away. All right, we're going to scroll down a little bit further here. And this is perfect. So this is a great section here that's dedicated to the transitional call to action. And you can have this. So anywhere above here, if you have a button that says download our guide or whatever that is, make sure it's not as obvious. It's there, but it's not as predominant. And then when they click it, it slides them all the way down to here. And when they click this, that's when they go put in their email, phone number, and get it now. Okay. So I think what you guys did there is fantastic as far as a dedicated spot for your transitional call to action. So keep that. Below it, you have featured in Forbes, LA Times, Inc. Perfect. Keep that there. That's really good. If you want to, you could even move that up to the top of the site some, like get people to see that right away. That's really cool. But definitely this is a great spot for that too. But you can move it up if you need. Join the cutting edge of wealth creation. Stay on top of the latest startup trends with Inside Look. And next, okay, so this is the newsletter now. So here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that when I download this guide, I'm put into a specific drip campaign, an email campaign. You really could merge those two or give them something. Here's the reason why I'm saying that. I'm going to want something now for giving you my email address. And I'm going to want something that I'm going to be able to tangibly use today. So I think this section you can actually cut out. I think you don't even need that section. Here's why. Because they signed up to get this downloadable PDF, they are giving you permission to be put on your list. Start sending them the newsletter anyway. This gives them something in return for giving you their email and maybe even their phone number, right? So I wouldn't say you need this. Now you can take some of this content here and see if you can't use it above in that spot with the PDF download. But I think we want to try to remove the distraction. And right now we have about 3 or 4 different calls to action, and it might confuse someone. Scrolling down a little further, you have the footer, which is basically where it has the Startup Camp logo and then your disclosures and privacy policy. We call that the junk drawer. And so that's perfectly fine what you have here. That's everything that you don't necessarily need to have a main call to action or real estate. You just put it down at the bottom. Now, one thing that we are missing is the plan. And the reason why you want to have the plan on here is your brand script will have a 1, 2, 3 step plan. So this section here that has these 3 icons, I would actually maybe in the spot here, in any one of these spots, but really we want to give them a plan. What's the plan the moment they sign up? So the first thing is I sign up to become an investor. The second thing is, I take the tutorials and trainings on the platform. And the third is I get to watch my wealth grow, right? So give them a plan. Let them know what it's going to do the moment they say yes to you. Okay. So from a design perspective, you guys did really good. Big, bold statements, easy on the eye, icons, really obvious calls to action. The goal, though, is those calls to action need to be the same. They need to be the controlling idea. We want to make sure that when someone visits your site, that they are equipped right now to become an investor.